Here are 3 self-defense moves that you must know if you're 60 or older. All right, the first self-defense move that we have right here for people who are 60 and over is what we call an eye jab. Now, when I talk about an eye jab, I got a lot of people to look at me weird, like, what are we talking about, a Three Stooges move or something like that? No, all I want to do is make sure that we use a target that's going to affect anybody regardless of how big or strong they are. You know, if I have Casey over here, who's obviously a bigger guy than I am, if we just start to slug it out right here, punch for punch, he's going to have a huge advantage. So how we can equalize that advantage a little bit is using a very vulnerable target like the eyes. So if I poke him in his eyes right here, that's going to evoke a reaction of him shutting his eyes, grabbing his eyes, moving back, whatever it is. At that point, I can either escape or follow up with more moves. How we do the eye jab is very important. We're not talking about chopping the eyes, all right? I'm not talking about maybe just hitting them with a punch. Extend your fingers out, but use them flexibly. All I mean that is that we're flicking them just like this, okay? Now, obviously, I'm hitting more around this end. I don't want to hurt Casey, but all we're doing is we're flicking right here just like this. Notice I'm stepping in as well, but I'm extending. I'm just not coming out and acting robotic. I want to use my arm in a very flexible sense right here. So as I do that, I'm flicking, I'm whipping, and that's what we want for this eye jab move. The second move that we have right here is an ear slap. Now, the ear slap is done where we cup our hands slightly, but we use our arm as more of a bat. And all I mean by that is we're gonna straighten this thing out. It's not a slap like I would do right here, like you might see in the soap operas. So I'm not coming in here and just slapping here like this. I'm extending my arm, I'm cupping my hand, I'm using my whole body to come over and slap the ear just like this. What is that doing? It's gonna discombobulate this person by going ahead, popping in their ear right there and throwing them off. At that point, as I always said, just like with the eye jab, we can either escape or we can follow up with more moves. But it's very important that we get this movement down. I'm just not using my arm, I'm using the whole body as I slap right here. That's what we're focusing on. The third move that I have for anybody who is 60 and over is what we call the foot stomp. Now, aside from the 2 high line tools that we just did, the eye jab and the ear slap, we now have a low line tool. The reason I like this is that it doesn't matter how short you are, how tall or big someone else is who's attacking you. We're attacking someone's low line, and we're using, as we always say, a very vulnerable target, and that is a key right here. The arch of the foot is a very, very vulnerable target. Now, most people say it only takes about 8 or 10 pounds of pressure to break that arch, so we want to use that to our advantage. If I have Casey out here, he's going to extend his foot just right here, and all I would do is I would just stomp on this target just like this. Now, notice I'm using a little bit more of my heel. The reason why I'm using my heel and not my instep is that the heel is much more structured, and that's more of the force is coming down. On the other hand, if I use my instep, well, think about it. I'm kind of using my arch up against his arch. We want the most force possible. I want to use his vulnerable arch up against my stronger heel. Now, as we do this move, we're not just stepping on it, we are stomping. In order to get that stomp in, we need to make sure that we raise the knee and drop it down as hard as we can in order to really take that target out. So there we go. The foot stomp. Now, we have those 3 different moves, and I would love to say, watch this video, you're safe. But it all comes down to making sure that you are training. I always say there's more than one ways that we can train, and I like to focus on just these 3 in this video right here. The first way is that we have up against what I call air. All we're doing is, whether we're talking about our eye jab, or the ear slap, or even the foot stomp right here, we simply work them against air. You know, just going through the movement is very, very valuable. What is not valuable is just watching something on a screen, all right, like let's say this video, and thinking that your body can do the move. We need to make sure that our body does do the move and does it for several reps. So what I would encourage you guys to do is maybe just start on 10 reps, 10 eye jabs, and then we want to go through 10 ear slaps, and then 10 foot stomps. Make sure we do both sides as well, because if someone grabs my arm right here, well, guess what? I may only have my left to do the ear slap with. If someone grabs my left arm, I only have my right arm to do the ear slap with. So we want to make sure that we can do these moves with both sides right here. But that's what I talk about doing it up on air. Once we get up to 10 reps, maybe the next workout, we double that. We go for 20 reps per side. I guarantee you get up to 50 reps per side, and man, that is a challenge you definitely want to take. The second way that we can go ahead and train is not just through working through air, but actually now hitting a target. This is very, very valuable because it's important to make sure that we know what it feels like to hit a particular target. So whether we're doing our eye jab right here or an ear slap, Obviously, a foot stomp would look like something like this, but doing it up against something that we can strike is very, very useful because we are not only teaching our body what it feels like to strike these targets, but we're also working things like timing and distancing and things like that that are very, very important. Think about it. If you don't have your distancing down, you're going to be ear slapping somebody, well, right in front of their face. You're going to miss your target. But if I get used to knowing how far I have to be from somebody in order to hit them with any of these tools, well, as we say, it's very, very valuable. And if you can work this into a nice little workout, whether it be a cool down or a warm up or something like that, well, then once again, your workout became that much more useful to you in the real world. So out of the three methods, we have working against air, working against a bag of some sort, and then last but not least, we're gonna combine the best of those two previous methods by bringing in Casey with a pad. The reason I like this so much is because we are moving around like we can do like we're working against air, but now we're hitting at targets just like we did when we're hitting a heavy bag. You're kind of, like I said, getting the best of both worlds right here. Using a partner here, whether it be your grandchild or your child or maybe a friend who can hold the pad, that gives you now the ability to move around and they're gonna throw up what target. You're not gonna know what kind of target that is gonna be open or they want you to hit until that pad goes somewhere. Let's go through these three moves once again. We have an eye jab, which is just looking like this, an ear slap, which looks like this, and then last but not least, a foot stomp, which looks like this. Now, what Casey can do to make this not only a little bit more of a workout, but also a little bit more functional, he's gonna move around and simply just hold the pad up in one of those three ways, either for an eye jab, an ear slap, or a foot stomp right there, okay? And I just simply reply with whatever technique is gonna take care of that target. So as he moves around a little bit, he throws up a move here, and that's my eye jab. Maybe move around a little bit, and that's my ear slap. Move around a little bit, maybe he comes down for the foot stomp. My point is that we get variety in here and I'm just reacting to wherever the target is open. That is very, very useful because once again, when you talk about a real life altercation, your heart's beating out of your chest, we don't know where the target's gonna be open until it actually happens and this will prepare you for that. If you'd like simple moves like this, please check out the description. There's a great link for one of my programs. Check it out for free.